Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the beginning of February of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, which, by the way, the marketing run for all of that is going to begin in mid to late March next month, of course. That's going to be a very big deal by not just Disney and Lucasfilm, but also to the Star Wars fans, getting their first look at Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan again, as well as a lot of the other fan favorite characters coming into the equation, like, of course, Hayden as Darth Vader once again as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with the fact of what's been going on behind the scenes between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and other creators coming on board over at Lucasfilm to really take care of the overall Star Wars universe and exactly where it's all going. Now, we already know that there's a lot of shows in the pipeline. In fact, a lot more of them will be announced at Star Wars Celebration this year. And this year's celebration, I've said this multiple times, that it is without a doubt going to be, hands down, the best celebration under Disney's wing. Not just because of the amount of material that they have ready to announce, but also exactly who's going to be announcing it. We're going to have George, John, and Dave on the stage, along with Disney CEO Bob Chapek, and some other surprise creators coming on board of the Star Wars universe. So it's going to be quite a very, good treat for the overall fandom around the globe. Now, on top of all of this, alright, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with what's been going on with the Book of Boba Fett series. Now, we have seen that the fans have viewed this series as a very mixed bag. There's a lot of fans out there that view some of the episodes by Robert Rodriguez very unfair or very much out of place with the overall Star Wars universe and how it didn't feel right to them. And I actually do agree that the Rodriguez episodes were probably the weaker points of the Book of Boba Fett series, but let's dive right into this. So, on top of this, with The Mandalorian Season 3 getting close to wrapping principal photography, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are getting ready to develop the new, of course, unannounced Star Wars TV shows that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration this year. However, it's noted that behind the scenes, Disney CEO Bob Chapek and the higher-ups over at Disney have been very unhappy with Robert Rodriguez and his directing style for the Book of Boba Fett, and have been in discussions of letting him go from the Mandoverse. Now, further, it's noted that recently Bob Chapek dropped Robert Rodriguez from directing any episodes for The Mandalorian Season 4, which he was supposed to do once they actually started filming in 2023, which is what they plan to do. However, as of now, Robert has been dropped from the series altogether after Disney realized a pattern that each and every episode he directed in Boba Fett fell flat and disappointed the fans. Many fans have been disappointed with the episodes that Rodriguez directed, and especially the one that featured Drash and her biker gang with cybernetic parts. So that was the one thing that I think really steered fans away. Now, let's not forget that this was an idea pitched by Robert Rodriguez to Jon and Dave Filoni, and it sounded cool to them on paper, it sounded very impressive to them on paper. But when we look at everything related to how it was done by Rodriguez and the direction of the overall episode that featured the Scooter Gang, as a lot of people like to refer to them as, it felt very weak. It felt very out of place. It didn't feel right for the Star Wars universe. It was a very slow chase. It just came off as very cheesy and corny in my book. And that's just how I saw it. And I'm sure that's how a lot of you guys may have seen it as well. Of course, there's going to be people that enjoy it, and that's fine. People have their own opinions, and, that's just perfectly natural. But there's no doubt about it that the majority of the fans did not enjoy not just that episode by Robert, but the other ones as well. And especially the one that, of course, aired today. A lot of fans are not liking how Rodriguez ended the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 7. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. Alright, so on top of this, alright, Rodriguez actually, believe it or not, is the one who pushed for all of this to be inserted into the Book of Boba Fett. He wanted to take elements from his past movies and throw them into the Book of Boba Fett series to create something unique. Kind of like how Drash has the mechanical arm and how that kind of relates to Alita Battle Angel. John and Dave are said to have had no clue that this was going to be directed in a poor way, as, of course, everything on paper came off different to them. Chapek, however, as of now, has been very unhappy with Rodriguez and his directing style of the series episodes, and that they have no plans, as of right now, to bring Rodriguez back into The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which is still in negotiations. Further, it's described that John and Dave have allowed Rodriguez to have some creative control over these episodes as they trusted him at the time, using what he needed with the Boba Fett series. Further, it's noted, however, that Bob Chapek and Disney's higher-ups were discussing this for numerous weeks of letting go of Rodriguez, ever since his episode with the biker gang debuted. Disney realized that the fans actually felt this was all out of place and didn't feel right for Star Wars overall. It's something that was a tough call for Disney because they like Robert Rodriguez as a person, but as a director, he is just not matching up with others in the Star Wars universe. It's something that Rodriguez is rather upset about behind the scenes, hearing he won't be involved in Mando Season 4 or the planned Season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. All in all, Disney is set to decide on what they want to do with Season 2 of Book of Boba by this week. Both Favreau and Filoni have so far enjoyed working on Boba Fett, but realize that the fans dislike Robert's episodes, and this is no secret to Lucasfilm. They know how and when the fans react to these shows, and make up their decisions very fast about what's working and what's not in order to actually do something very successful and to keep the Star Wars universe as best as possible. So that's another very big, development right now, is the fact that they don't want him on board of Mandalorian Season 4. They don't want him on board of the potential quote-unquote Book of Boba Fett Season 2. They're still talking about that behind the scenes over at Disney on whether or not they want to move forward with that. I feel that they should maybe skip that and just focus on Mandalorian and then throw in side stories with Book of Boba, or just the Boba Fett, character himself. They could just do something like that. But overall, I think that when you look at everything related to Rodriguez, alright, let's look at where he comes from. Alright, so we know he comes from directing and making Spy Kids, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the Desperado trilogy. There's a lot of other things out there that he was involved in. When you look at everything bundled together, it may have been a poor choice to bring him on board of Star Wars. I know a lot of fans right now are not happy with the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, and a lot of that might have something to do with the fact that, Chapters 5 and 6 literally had nothing to do with Boba, and it really was like, a situation where you kind of had this big height of excitement and then it kind of just goes way down because of what they did. But it wasn't just that. It was also how Robert Rodriguez directed the season finale of the Book of Boba Fett. He had a lot to do with it. It's not a coincidence that the Scooter Gang is, pretty much, back in action in multiple episodes now. That's all I will say about the Boba Fett season finale. But, overall, I think that we still are, very much in for quite a good ride. We had a couple of mishaps in this season, and I think that the Kenobi series, the Ahsoka Tano show, Star Wars, of course, Andor may very well be a success depending on how well it's going to be done. We also have a lot of things coming our way for a series of new shows that will be announced at Celebration. So I think that this is just the beginning, and it's not going to be anything like this per se. As long as they keep Rodriguez away, I feel that, they could very well treat The Mandalorian in different ways by adding on more experienced directors and just learning from their mistakes. That's what they're doing. They're testing the waters. Trial and error is basically how a lot of these things are done. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.